Imagine walking into a room that barely gets any sunlight, yet the plants look like they're living their best life. Yeah, that's the kind of magic we're talking about today. You don't need a bright window or a fancy grow light to enjoy greenery, because some plants actually prefer the shady corners we usually ignore. I've tried a bunch of these in my own space, from dim hallways to that one dark spot behind the TV, and trust me, they thrive like champs. What I love most is how low maintenance they are, no guessing games, no drama, just vibes. Plus, studies show indoor greenery boosts mood and productivity by up to 15%, even in low light, so you're getting benefits without the hassle. Whether you're working with an apartment that feels like a cave or a home office that barely sees daylight, these plants are perfect. Let's go through 14 incredible options that don't need the sun to shine and might just become your new favorites. Variegated Monstera is one of those plants that surprises people because it looks like it should need tons of light, but it actually handles low-light rooms better than you'd expect, thanks to its naturally slow growth and strong leaf structure. In dim corners it still pushes out those beautiful split leaves, and studies show variegated foliage can boost visual interest in indoor spaces by nearly 40%, making any low-light room feel more alive. It does best with lightly moist soil and a weekly check-in, drinking just enough to stay hydrated without ever sitting in water, and it adapts well to soft indirect light from lamps or windows across the room. What makes it memorable is how each leaf grows with totally unique white patterns, almost like nature's fingerprint, and even in low-light homes it becomes the plant everyone notices first. Snake plant is practically built for low-light living, which is why NASA's Clean Air study ranked it among the top indoor plants for filtering toxins even in dim conditions. It handles shady rooms, hallways, and corners like a champ because its tall, upright leaves store water and energy, letting it thrive with as little as one watering every 2 to 3 weeks. In softer light it still grows steadily, and its soil needs are simple, well-draining mix. Let it dry out almost completely, and you're good. What makes it really stand out is how it releases oxygen at night, a rare trait in houseplants, making it one of the best low-light companions for bedrooms, small apartments, or any space that barely sees the sun. Air plant is one of the easiest low-light survivors because it doesn't even need soil to stay healthy, making it perfect for those dim shelves or desk corners where nothing else seems to grow. It absorbs moisture and nutrients straight from the air through its leaves, and studies show tillandsias can handle light levels as low as 50 to 100 foot candles, which is basically the brightness of a hallway or a cloudy room. All it really wants is a quick soak every 1 to 2 weeks and good airflow so it can dry out properly afterward. What makes it memorable is how you can display it anywhere, inside glass globes, on driftwood, on bookshelves, and it still looks cool, adding a quirky, modern vibe to low sun spaces without needing the constant attention most plants demand. Ginseng Ficus is surprisingly comfortable in low sun spaces because its thick, bulbous trunk stores moisture and nutrients, letting it handle dim corners without losing its shape or charm. It grows well in soft, indirect light and doesn't mind the kind of room that only gets ambient daylight, which is why many indoor gardeners use it as a beginner-friendly bonsai. Watering is simple. Keep the soil slightly moist but never soggy, and let the top inch dry before adding more, which helps prevent root issues and keeps the leaves glossy. What makes it memorable is that its sculpted trunk and dense canopy look like a miniature tree straight out of a landscape painting, bringing a calm, grounded energy to low-light offices, bedrooms, or apartment corners that never get direct sun. Large Monstera Obliqua might look delicate with its lace-like leaves, but it actually handles low-light spots better than most people realize because its natural rainforest habitat is full of filtered, indirect light. Even in dim rooms it continues to push out those signature perforated leaves, and research on fenestrated plants shows they can reduce light stress by up to 30%, which helps them adapt to shade easily. It prefers lightly moist, airy soil and a careful watering routine, about once a week or whenever the top layer starts to feel dry, making it surprisingly manageable despite its rare reputation. What makes it unforgettable is how every new leaf looks like a piece of living artwork, adding a dramatic, high-end aesthetic to low-sun apartments or offices without demanding the bright windows most people assume it needs. Fiddle leaf fig is known for loving bright light, but a lot of people don't realize it can still adapt to lower light rooms as long as the light is consistent, which is why many apartment growers keep it away from direct sun without issues. Its broad leaves act like natural solar panels, allowing it to capture and use even softer light efficiently, and studies show large leaf plants can photosynthesize in light levels as low as 75 to 150 foot candles. Watering is simple once you get the rhythm. Let the top 2 inches of soil dry out, give it a deep drink, and make sure it drains well so the roots stay healthy. What makes it especially appealing in low sun spaces is how those big, glossy leaves instantly elevate a room, making it look more curated and stylish, even if the plant is hanging out in a corner that only gets ambient daylight. Jade plant is one of the toughest low-light survivors because its thick, fleshy leaves store water like a built-in backup system, letting it handle dim rooms and long gaps between watering with no stress at all. It grows steadily even in soft, indirect light, and research on Crassula species shows they can maintain healthy growth at light levels under 100-foot candles, which is about the brightness of a shaded living room. Its care is simple: use a gritty, well-draining soil, let it dry out almost completely, and water every 2 to 3 weeks depending on your indoor climate. What makes it memorable is how those plump, glossy leaves symbolize good luck and financial prosperity in many cultures, so even in low sun corners it brings a little charm, a little resilience, and a whole lot of positive energy to your space. Peepal Bonsai adapts surprisingly well to low light rooms because its natural form as a ficus allows it to photosynthesize efficiently even in shaded environments, much like it does under dense forest canopies. It keeps growing steadily with just soft, indirect light from a distant window or even ambient daylight, making it a great option for living rooms or offices that don't get harsh sun. Its care is easy: keep the soil lightly moist, never waterlogged, and let the top layer dry slightly before watering again to keep the roots strong and healthy. What makes it unforgettable is its calm, spiritual presence. The peepal tree is historically linked to peace and longevity, and as a bonsai it brings that same grounding energy into low-light spaces while looking like a miniature ancient tree quietly thriving in a corner. Bonsai tree is more low-light friendly than most people think, especially species like ficus, elm, and jade that naturally grow under partial shade in the wild, allowing them to adapt to indoor rooms with soft, filtered light. Even in dimmer spaces they keep their compact shape because bonsai pruning encourages dense foliage that doesn't rely on strong sunlight to stay healthy. Their care is simple: use well-draining soil, keep it evenly moist but never soggy, and rotate it every couple of weeks so all sides get whatever ambient light the room provides. What makes bonsai truly special in low-sun homes is how each tiny tree looks like a living sculpture. Studies show small-scale greenery can reduce stress by up to 20%, and a bonsai adds that calm, mindful energy even in the quiet, shady corners where most plants would struggle. Tree philodendron is naturally built for low-sun environments because it comes from the shaded understory of tropical forests, where it evolved to thrive with soft, indirect light rather than direct sun. Even in dim rooms it keeps pushing out those big, rippled leaves because large leaf plants can capture up to 80% more available light, letting them photosynthesize efficiently in darker spaces. Its care is easy: keep the soil lightly moist, let the top inch dry out before watering again, and make sure it sits in a pot with good drainage so the roots never get soggy. What makes it memorable is how its dramatic, sculptural leaves instantly add a bold, tropical vibe to low-light living rooms or offices, giving the space a fresh, lush feeling without needing a bright window to stay healthy. Monstera is one of the best low-light companions because it naturally grows beneath dense rainforest canopies, where the sunlight is soft, scattered, and often blocked by taller trees, so it adapts perfectly to dim apartments and shaded corners. Even in low-sun rooms it keeps producing those iconic split leaves because fenestrations help reduce light stress and let the plant use whatever gentle light is available more efficiently. Its care is simple: keep the soil lightly moist, let the top inch dry before watering, and give it a stable spot where it gets consistent indirect light, even if it's just ambient daylight from across the room. What makes it unforgettable is how a single monstera can transform a dull space into something stylish and alive, with its bold leaves creating that tropical, modern vibe without ever needing direct sunshine to thrive. Philodendron Tortum handles low-light rooms far better than most people expect because its thin, skeletal leaves are designed to capture and use even the softest indirect light, much like it would in the shaded layers of the rainforest. It keeps its airy, architectural shape with just ambient daylight or a distant window, and research on philodendron species shows they can maintain healthy growth at light levels under 100 to 150-foot candles, which is typical of indoor spaces without direct sun. Its care is simple: use a loose, well-draining soil, water when the top inch dries out, and keep humidity moderate so those delicate leaf fronds stay crisp and healthy. What makes it especially memorable is its rare, spider-like foliage that instantly adds a modern, sculptural look to low sun rooms, turning any dull corner into an eye-catching statement without demanding bright light to stay gorgeous. String of pearls may look like a sun lover, but it actually handles low-light rooms surprisingly well because its bead-like leaves store water and energy, letting it survive with very minimal light throughout the week. It trails beautifully even in shaded corners, and studies on trailing succulents show they can maintain steady growth at lower light levels by reducing evaporation through compact, spherical leaves. Its care is simple: use a fast-draining cactus mix, let it dry out almost completely, and water lightly every 2 to 3 weeks, which keeps those little pearls plump without risking rot. What makes it truly memorable in low sun spaces is how its cascading strands create a soft, flowing look that instantly elevates shelves, bookcases, or hanging spots that rarely see direct sunlight, giving the room a fresh, whimsical vibe with almost no effort. ZZ Plant is basically the superhero of low-light homes because its dark, glossy leaves are designed to absorb and use even the weakest indirect light, which is why it thrives in rooms most plants give up on. It grows from thick rhizomes that store water for weeks, letting it survive long gaps between watering and making it one of the easiest indoor plants for busy people. Its care is extremely simple: use well-draining soil, let it dry out completely before watering again, and keep it anywhere from a shaded hallway to a low-sun office without worrying about leaf drop. What makes it unforgettable is how it stays shiny, upright, and elegant even in the darkest corners. Plus, several studies show ZZ Plant helps filter indoor toxins, giving your dim spaces both beauty and cleaner air with almost no effort at all. And that wraps up our list of 14 plants that don't need the sun to thrive, proving you don't need a bright window to build a home full of life and color. Whether you've got a shaded apartment, a low-light office, or just a few dim corners you've been ignoring, there's always a plant ready to step in and make the space feel warmer and more alive. If you enjoyed this breakdown and found a few new favorites to add to your home, make sure to hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment telling me which one you're bringing home next. Thanks for hanging out with me today. See you in the next video.